So the question, or two questions I have for you is, how big can you think and how well do you take setbacks? Both of these will determine your success in getting the physique that you desire, also the level of partner that you have in your life, also the level of career you have in your life, also where you live, also how you see yourself. This is literally everything. Your ability to think big and your ability to deal with setbacks will literally frame the rest of your life. If you are out of shape, it's because you lack the ability to think big, or you are very good at self-sabotaging yourself to get that level of progress because you don't believe you deserve it. So we're going to uncover that in this lecture. We're going to fix that so you can march on and get to the transformation. The reason I get the results we do here at the Gorilla Platoon is because of our ability to get our members to think big, to believe they are worth the end result. Therefore, they will find ways. The brain is a very clever thing. It will find ways to get to the desired outcome and solution once it believes it can do it, and most importantly, once you can see it in your own mind. But a lot of you cannot see it in your own mind because it's buried behind, and we'll go into this in the first element of the lecture, self-deprecation. A lot of you are very, very good at self-deprecation. Why is this? Well, because you know all of your downfalls, you know all of your negative traits. So if I said to you how much, let's say you're going to go to a job in a field that you know, and if I say to you, write what you think your salary is worth, a lot of you will undersell yourself short in the number you put down by a good 20, 30, maybe 40%. You'll actually know you're worth a bit more, but you'll put it 40% lower just to make sure you get the job. Because you know all of your negative traits. You know your mindsets when they're not right. You know the fact that there is fucking a little stain on your t-shirt right now. You know that your kitchen's not clean. You know that you woke up late today. You know all of these things about you. The problem is we are very good at remembering all of the negative things, and then you only see yourself as good as the negative points in your life. The way we get people to transform their physique is by seeing all of the positives. Now, here's an exercise I want you to do. I want you to write down your best character traits. Just put 5, no more than 5. If you can only think of 3, just put 3. You're just going to write these down on your notes page. You're also going to write down 10 people that you know. And then what you're going to do is compare your ability in that character trait against the 10 people. Now, you're going to have 5 character traits of which you're going to compare against 10 different people. Some of them will be more than you, but there will be a fair few people that you know that actually you are higher than them in that character trait. And you're going to do this across 5 different traits. This is now going to give you evidence and data that actually you're not a piece of shit. You actually have some substance for you. And if we compared you to against the average people you know, you'd actually do very, very well. What's this going to do? Well, it's now going to raise your self-image in a social environment, which is literally where our whole evolution is based off. It's based off social status in our circle, and that is where evolution is based, because the higher you are in the social circle, the greater chances you are of passing on your genes with another partner. So naturally, by doing this, it's going to raise your self-image. A lot of you self-deprecate, i.e. you are very good at sabotaging the progress you make. How would this happen in a term of physique transformation? Well, you'd start by making progress for about a month, but then you just find ways to think, fuck it, let's just go out on the piss. So let's say right now your life's not that great. You don't get that much fulfillment from your work. You're living for the weekend just to go out and really have an escape from it, really just go and, take some substances, drink alcohol, be around people. And it's like your life is like, let me get the pen out. Let's say your life is like this. Here is the threshold for your happiness on a weekly basis. You get just enough money to take you to here, and what you do just about gets you here. But then after it, your baseline comes down. So then throughout the week, throughout 7 days, your baseline is significantly lower, and it's painful. You get just enough money at the weekend to take it up, live for the weekend, but then it comes back down. And it always comes down lower than the baseline because you can't keep doing this. If you keep living for the weekend, you will slowly just keep degrading and degrading your character. Why? Because more reps are spent. Let's say the week is 4 days at least, because you motherfuckers will call Friday a weekend. More days are spent in a contracted mindset than they are in a expanded mindset. Because on a weekend, your mindset will be expanded. You take substances, you're around people, you're enjoying yourself, you see the world for a better place. But during the week, you see a negative spin of life. You see lack of resources in money. You see unfulfilling work. You see doing something you don't want to do. You see being around people you don't want to be around. So all of these are taken away from you. But the problem is you're doing more of this than you are of this. So naturally, you're going to put yourself in a very bad headspace. So if I then put you on a plan to make progress, you will start on the plan, and initially you will see progress because it is novel, it is new. You are actually feeling better about yourself. You're saying no to certain things. But after around week 4 or 5, why would you self-deprecate? Well, because you would be faced with the harsh reality that actually outside of the weekend, the fun, your life is pretty fucking awful. And you'll just be faced with the reality of this. And at this stage of the game, you have 2 options. You can either suffer through it and take the pain now and keep doing what you're doing, i.e., you're on the plan, you're making progress, you're dropping weight, you're seeing your physique improve. You can keep doing this, or you can take the quick route out and get the immediate gratification and go and enjoy yourself at the weekend, but knowing that it's going to put you back into this cycle of what you were doing before, which is, it's just enough, you're getting just enough dopamine, just enough high at the weekend to tolerate what is the garbage throughout the week. However, if we take this away from you and you're faced with how real, like mundane and boring and pathetic your life actually is, it's very hard and uncomfortable. Very, very hard and uncomfortable to stay on the right path without someone literally showing you step by step through the way and a guide through this. This is why, like, if you want to get my one-to-one coaching, this is what we literally do. Because you're going to get to week 4 or 5, want to sack it, but this is where obviously we come in with the new mindset concepts like, no, you're supposed to go through this. How can you ever breach to the new layer of life which you want, which more looks like this? I mean, my life is literally like 7 days fucking is great. 1 day, like no days are bad. I have every day is fucking great. But let's get you to a point where you enjoy 5 days of the week and 2 of them might not be as much interesting as you want. So now it's more in the favor of the balance of doing the good habits for 5 continuous days because your life is generally good in general. You have a good partner that you can be around. You have friends that are growing. You are doing things that challenge you, and you're now addicted to the growth that comes from the challenge, i.e. like the gym, i.e. like you do something that fulfills you. Like I am very fulfilled with my work because, as you can see, I literally just help men go from this to this. Nothing is more fulfilling than this, either personally or through delivering YouTube videos like this to people who also get results. I know this because they messaged me on Instagram. So for me, it's very, very fulfilling life. Like, you know, all day, every day. I want the same for you. But during this process, you cannot go from this to this without having to go through a period of time where it's not that fulfilling. And you're faced with the harsh reality of the self-deprecation you keep doing to yourself. Things almost have to get a bit worse to get a bit better. Now, why this is catastrophic is because things are just good enough. It's like when people have a job which they don't really like, but it's just about good enough. It just about covers the bills with a bit of spare change and enough for a holiday. It's just about tolerable. It's just about fulfilling enough. That's actually the worst position to be in because you've got rock bottom, you've got tolerable, you've got enjoyable, and then you've got you are fucking thriving. The worst position to be in is here. Here is the worst position to be in. You know why? Because if you were here, you would do something about it. For a lot of you, you kind of look like this. And you're like, well, I can see a bit of chest, maybe there's a bit of an ab coming through, I don't look too bad. So I've not really got the desire to go to this. But if a lot of you look like this, you'd be like, holy fuck. The same way if your life was like this, you'd be like, holy fuck, we've got to sort this shit out. And that would force you to push past this and enter to this. That would force you to go from this and get to this. So a lot of you, your life is not bad enough that you need to make the change. Whereas if it was, it would actually be a bit more of a blessing. But it doesn't need to be. Understand the concept I'm telling you right now, and understand that you don't have to suffer this. You just need to understand that tolerable is not fucking good enough. You've got to think bigger. You've got to genuinely believe you can change your life for the better. Because look, if I was to like drop the ego on all of these images, like they're just human beings. They're just humans, aren't they? And they have a body just like you have a body. You could probably find your body type on this screen somewhere. Someone on here probably looks similar to you and got in crazy shape, which should really paint the picture that, well, if they can do it with the same body as me, why can't I? And the answer to that would be self-deprecation, because you generally know all the bad things you do, you know what you're really worth, and that's why you deprecate yourself to not make the progress that you should. We've got to cut this out. You've got to stop the self-deprecation and start to think big. You've got to start to believe you can achieve real greatness. Your ability to think big is the chance you have of getting in great shape. Mark my words when I say this. This is mission critical. You've got to be willing to think big to get in great shape. So, when it comes to thinking big, the way I want you to start off with this, because you're going to progressively overload your ability to think big. You can't think I'm going to be 10% body fat and a millionaire in 3 years' time, because it's too much of a mammoth of a task. So all you need to do to start off with this, to start thinking big, is look at the people that are your peers. And now what you want to do, and the way you want to, I actually used this to quit social media in 2020. I looked at my peers and thought, like, imagine they have already quit social media, and I think I'm better than them, or better than them in the realm of discipline. Well, if they can quit it, I can definitely quit it. And you almost want to compare yourself to those people. So you've always like got them as accountability. They don't even know you're doing this. It's just a mental thing you're doing in your head. So you need to look at someone that would half piss you off, that would half say, I knew you weren't going to get in shape. I knew you couldn't stick to something for long enough. You're a fucking weasel dick. You are literally pathetic. But in your mind, you're a little bit better than they are. You're all kind of peers. You're maybe same age, went to the same school or whatever, or work colleagues. And you're all kind of peers. But you see yourself as just above them. Well, imagine them saying to you, you ain't going to get in shape, mate. You're a fucking weasel dick. That would annoy you so much to the point you would get it done. Like if I said you and this guy are in competition to get in shape first, you would do whatever it takes to beat this motherfucker. And you need to have the same mindset now. So what I want you to do as a hard action step is picture someone like that, what I've just said. And you want to think that every time you're trying to get in shape, they are always on it. They're doing what needs to be done, and they're ready to terrorize you. That when you're going a rep short in the gym, they got that extra rep. When you're doing 9,500 steps, they've done 10,100. Everything they do is a little bit above you, and they're ready to hammer you at any point because you've not been that guy. Now, when you see that, you'll think, right, I'm going to beat this motherfucker. Now what do? You start to make progress. Then what happens? You increase the caliber of the person. Now you're competing against someone who's a few more levels up. What does this get you do? Yes, you thinking bigger, think I can compete with these guys. You can really compete with anybody. It's just your ability to believe it and actually start doing the thing. So this is the first thing. How big can you think? You need to start thinking a lot bigger. A lot of you could be in this shape like within 6 months, but you just don't generally believe you can. And that comes down to your self-image and how you see yourself. So start to visualize the man you want to become, because your brain will find a way to go from the man you are right now with a lowercase b body to the man you actually want to be with a fucking triangle V taper. So your brain, as long as it can see it, it can believe you can get there. Now, the quickest way to go from here to here is not to start on your little path. Yep, I'm me with a lowercase b body following this plan, and here we go, and boom, you'll fall off. So what do? Instead? you already act like the guy at B. You act like you are this guy already. You delude, you visualize yourself to already being this guy. When you can act like this, it will just be a matter of time until you look like him. You will gain his results. It's like if you came and lived with me, within a year you would be in great shape, probably do coaching, probably do YouTube, probably travel around the world, and probably do boxing. Like, that's just going to be the reality, because you live with me, and people end up, becoming like the people they're around. So if you live with me, that's what will end up happening. Likewise, you might have a few traits that you're into. You might be like really sick at chess. And then because we live together, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's play chess at 8 o'clock at night. Not really got anything else to do. It'd be a good wind down. And then I'll get really good at chess. So this is what happens. But you're going to do this with a notional person inside your brain. This is actually something we have inside our programs, where it's how to create the 2.0 version of you. And this is where you create this character in a document form. It's a full 40-minute video where you create the character traits, how he's going to live in 24 hours. And that's inside both programs. Obviously, we have the personal one-to-one. I will literally take you through this process and get you the result. But we also are releasing a lower ticket, smaller community style, where it's a series of videos that are going to get you to the end result. And that one is now live and ready to be had. That one is currently being made, but you can get it at a cheaper rate right now. But I just want to drop that in there. So the next thing we need to ask is, how well do you take setbacks? And there are three types of people when it comes to setbacks. You've got Mr. Skid Row, Mr. Mediocre, and Mr. Successful. So you will be going on your path of life, and you'll be going, you're making progress, this is fucking great, and then boom, something catastrophic will happen. It will be a hard stop. Now, you can go one of three ways. You can either go back, never to be seen again. You can either go sideways and move away from the issue as quickly as possible to safety, or you can fight through and go forwards. Now, the Mr. Skid Row guy, who ended up at the bottom of the bottom, whatever it was, it absolutely crippled him to the point he did not get back up from it. He stayed down forever. This is where this happens for, like, to be honest, I've seen it happen from people I went to school with, where like they started off well, because you're all about the same when you're growing up, and then something bad will happen, i.e. they do something fucking catastrophic, they end up in prison or something, and then from that they always see themselves as this like criminal. They just can't get a leg up from there, and they just end up down in the Skid Row place. Or like they were like really good at a certain sport but didn't quite make it, and then they end up getting an okayish job, and that like crippled them. They just didn't push any further than that because they had something catastrophic happen where like the thing they thought they were going to be really good at, they didn't make it. So now they just do something steady, and that's it, because it's kind of crippled their ability to really see the world in a better light, which is a shame, because these people would have started, if it looks like this, those people would have started like well ahead of me in terms of like their like just overall direction of where they're heading. They're like, say they were really good at football, they'll be up here, really good at football, age like, let's go 14 to around 18, really good at football, absolutely skyrocketing through. Whereas me at 14 was just a fucking random kid, kind of got a bit of fitness about him, that's about it. Thick as pig shit at school, not really got much going on. So they're like leaps and bounds ahead. But as we start to go through, I joined the army, which, yes, steady away stuff, decent. I'm leveling up my career in the army. I'm just chipping away, steady. They're still going for the football thing. They're not really sure if it's going to work out. I'm still chipping away, steady. They're now coming on 20. They realise they're not at the club they need to be. It's looking less likely. They're doing like non-league stuff. I've left the army at this point. I'm now doing personal training in Dubai. Yeah, nice, still steady. They're steady-ish job. Not made it at football, still doing a bit on the side. I've got the skill of now getting people in great shape. This is where I learnt this. And then some military contracts come up in the Middle East. I've gone and done that, stacked some good money. Now at this point, they are still doing the football, steady away job. They've moved up a little bit. I've now created the guerrilla platoon, and now I'm changing people's lives, and that is growing heavenly. It's given me the ability to travel the world, do whatever I want to do. It's purposeful, and I'm now like leaving them behind. While meanwhile, they are, if anything, they've stopped doing the football now because it ain't going to work. They're in this career, but they don't really know where to go, and they bottom out around here. Whereas, like, the world's my fucking oyster at this stage of the game. So this can happen. So don't think if you started off from a lower position, it's going to end like that. It really isn't. Like, a lot of the people I know were well ahead of me in youthful years. Now they get left behind because my ability to deal with not really setbacks, but my current circumstance is strong. I believe I'll never be like. I believe I can always keep growing because I'm an optimist. And how big can I think? I think very, very big. I think, I can go to the top of everything. But it wasn't always like that. This came from literally mindset training like this. So we've got Mr. Skid Row who bottomed out here because a big event happened, either went to prison or like his big sporting event didn't work out and he wasn't able to progress. So this is where he bottomed out. Now, Mr. Mediocre, this is obviously the average. This is most people. And this is someone who's just got they will deal with a setback by more running away from it, but they won't be completely crippled and like left to just fester in the dregs of life. But they'll just keep moving around any issues. The problem is, if the barrier to getting what you truly want is on the other side of risk and challenge and unclarity, lack of clarity, scary things, like you've got to put some skin in the game, some risk on the line, you could lose shit. If what we want is above this line here, they will get very close to the line, but they'll never take the risk. So they'll always stay. Let's draw out this. This is Skid Row down here to this line. Mr. Mediocre, Eminem, is going to always be hovering around here to here because they just don't have what it takes to push through this. Any setback will not completely cripple them. They'll just go back to this baseline here. They won't be able to push through this. This will be their baseline. This will be their standard. And I've spoke about this in self-image lectures. You will have a certain standard for certain things. And I describe this by being a hot, cold rock line. If I threw you on this line, you jump off as quick as possible because it's hot. If you go below the hot, cold rock line, so you jump off because it's hot and uncomfortable. Going below this is hot and uncomfortable. So Mr. Mediocre may go below this. He'll never end up here because it's painful and a change to his life. He'll do whatever it takes to get back to here. The problem is he doesn't get the same feeling when this is the line. Whereas Mr. Successful, his line is here because he was able to breach through this to being a success. I.e., when a challenge came about, he paused and thought, right, I didn't succeed at that, I actually failed at this element. Okay, well, first and foremost, I'm not a failure, I just failed at this element. What lessons can I extract, both tactical and philosophical, from this process? So let's say you actually tried to get in shape before you discovered my channel, because once you do, you will get in shape. But let's say you tried and it didn't succeed. What I want you to do is, first of all, extract the tactical lessons. Did you set your meal plan up in a way that would actually fulfill fullness, good amount of carbs, enough protein, and you didn't go too low too early? Was your training set up in a way that you enjoyed it, you could stick to it and recover from it? Was your cardio set up in a way that didn't accumulate too much fatigue, but it drove good quality calorie deficit? Looking at the objectives. The next thing you want to ask yourself, why did I fail? Well, I didn't set my mindset up correctly. So when it got a little bit tough, I thought, I don't really like this. I didn't set my mindset up correctly because when I got a little bit flat and my muscle wasn't as tight, as full pushing against the skin, I thought I was getting skinny, when in reality I was just flat because of a lack of glycogen inside the muscle. Therefore, I quit when I wasn't lean enough. I bulked back up to the point where I got really soft really quick and realized that I needed to cut again, and that's why I keep yo-yoing through this cycle. So you want to try and sit and extract the lessons. Now, this is not easy to do in the moment because maybe you will be emotional because of failing, which is normal. Human beings do not like to fail. But the moment you can take a bit of time after to sit and reflect and extract the lessons from there is the moment you will grow. It's the moment you'll be able to think bigger because you have the tools. There isn't really failures. There's just more you have collected data from a certain situation. So let's say and we like a nice way to put this would be, I'm going to give you a test to take. You're going to do this test. You have 40 minutes to complete the test. There are 28 questions. Stand by, go. You finish the test, you fail, you get less than 50% right, but you get to retake the test again, and you can just keep taking it, because ultimately with life you can just keep retaking the test. But what you've actually got is, I've told you got 50%, so at 28 questions you got 14 right. This is now 14 bits of data that show what you got right, and it also gives you 14 bits of data to show what you got wrong and what you need to work on. So now you're going to go away, work on those 14 things you got wrong, whilst also cementing the things you got right. You're going to do the test again, and now you might get 21 questions right. Very, very close to the end now. Well, another fucking 25% up. Now you can go and take the test again, and you've got even more data to go out, and now you're going to definitely pass it. You want to almost view life like this, as whatever you are doing, you may fail, but really you've collected X amount of data from a try. Nothing is a wasted effort, because you collected data from what has happened. But you need to have the mental stillness in order to look back and reflect. And that is what Mr. Successful does. He just keeps going about life. He'll be knocked off, reviews, assesses, collects the data, attacks again, falls off, a little bit less of a severity of a fall off, goes again, collects data, happens again, oh, only a little bit this time, oh, only a little bit to the left now, back in, and keeps going. And this is what your path is going to be like en route to dealing with setbacks. You can use setbacks as an asset as long as you use them to collect data to then go again, and as long as you're willing to go again. That's what you need to do. That, supplemented with your ability to think big, to genuinely believe that you deserve your hot coal rock line to be up here with Mr. Successful, that is how you're going to get in great shape. But also, it's how you're going to level up all areas of your life, because your self-respect is going to be to a very high standard. So I wanted to drop that lecture with you because a lot of you are not in shape, not because you don't know tactics to get in shape. A lot of you are not in shape because, first of all, you don't believe you can because you don't think that big. And second of all, if you get a setback, it's fucking catastrophic. So we want to fix that. Thank you for watching. As always, hopefully you found it useful. If you want me to personally coach you one-to-one, or my brother or one of our Guerrilla Platoon coaches, there'll be a link in the description. That'll be the first one. Go and join us on the inside. And likewise, if you want to do something a bit more where you do it yourself with a series of structured videos, if you find value in my YouTube videos here, we're creating a structured sequence of videos that are going to take you from this to this, along with all the mindset concepts as well. And there you'll have the ability to ask just weekly questions with Loom video responses. So it's more like you're going to do it yourself, but with a bit more guidance than obviously what you get on YouTube. That'll be the second link in the description. And if you want to just gain a little bit more mindset concept, I deliver those on my Instagram page. There'll be a third link in the description. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.